appreciate the Harmony mission which has taken up this cause of planning and development a safe city, a safe smart city for various uses. The gift city which is being developed in Gujarat, Gandhinagar, is for a global financial hub. The theme is to develop a global financial hub, which is a need of our country. And as per the study done earlier, he said that there is a huge potential of employment in financial services in India, and it can even surpass IT. Presently, about 4 million people are employed in financial services throughout the country, and he is likely to grow to 11 million by 2020. That means about 7 million employment can be generated, additional employment can be generated in next 7-8 years. That's a huge. But how to achieve that? It is necessary that we should develop infrastructure, we should develop similar cities to create such employment. Otherwise, this projection will never materialize. Considering this aspect, our then Chief Minister, Sri Narendra Modi ji, he conceived to develop one global financial hub at Gandhinagar called Gift City with about 10 lakh jobs. Now this job by itself looks very high, but when you take in the context of India, it is only 12%. Many more such things have to come in due course of time if we have to sustain, we have to generate that employment. But when you develop this city with this objective, this theme, it has to be better than the best in the world, because we will be competing with not Indian cities, but the global financial centers in the world. Take it Singapore, Dubai, London, Tokyo, such things. So therefore, we studied all these major financial centers around the world, and we have developed a plan which you will find, as you have seen, a model which can be considered by any standard better than other financial centers in the world. Sometimes we see that how to achieve this. One is conceiving some plan, another giving shape to this. So we had to go in lot of detailing of this and creating rules and regulation, enabling facilities so that you can achieve this. You can realize this in such a short period. 10-12 years is not a big period for any city. And to realize a job potential of 10 to 12 lakhs in about 10 to 12 years is a huge task. Now we started with the planning, and we kept in view that the urban design form which has been conceived should be achieved, though the various developers will develop various buildings in different point of time. But the common infrastructure, which is the backbone of the city, will be developed by gift company, and which again has to be planned and designed and developed, that we don't have to dig again. And also we have to keep in mind that this has to sustain an employment potential of 10 lakhs. So the incremental can be done, but there is no time for incremental. We also consider that this city has to be energy efficient, has to be green city, has to be environmental friendly, because quality of life in the working of any such services, like particularly financial services, is paramount in the mind of people. We have tried to balance in this development of the city a working life and personal life. Today in most of the metropolitan cities, people are harassed. By the time he comes to work, he is all exhausted. And even in the office, he is confined in the office. When he goes out, there is no place for relaxation. Whereas there has to be that after working for a few hours, people can go out and relax in the nature. Therefore, in the planning of this city, we have seen that there only 40% area will be covered by the buildings, 60% will be by the infrastructure and green. And consequently, we had to plan this city as a vertical city. The vertical city is also imperative for financial services because the financial services thrive on economy of agglomeration. That means they have to be close by. So interaction becomes easy. These agencies, these services do not work in isolation. They work in tandem with other services. Now, these were the requirements. Now, if you take the total city, for the total power requirement of the order of 700 to 1000 megawatt, it's a huge. And total built up area which we have planned for housing 10 lakh jobs is about 62 million square feet, which will in the form of about 120 to 130 buildings, all vertical buildings, all air conditioned buildings. We also kept in mind that how we can minimize the use of energy, always a minimization. So all the buildings have to be energy efficient, green building. But even then, the power requirement comes to 750 megawatt. In any such city, vertical city, particularly financial services, the air conditioning cost is very high. And we did a lot of research that how we can minimize the air conditioning cost, particularly energy consumption in air conditioning. And we are developing a district cooling center. Instead of building-based air conditioning plant or your outdoor unit and split unit, we are going for a district cooling system in which chilled water at 4 degree temperature centigrade is transported to the building by underground pipe, and at building we have got only air handling unit. This saves energy to the extent of 30% compared to conventional, which is huge. Similarly, we have also seen that the waste which is generated from the city, how that can be used productively. And for that we have also created automated waste collection system. That means organic and inorganic materials from each building is collected in a separate chute and taken to the basement, and from there it transported by backup at 90 km speed. And at the segregation plant, we segregate organic, which goes for composting, and inorganic goes for incineration, for which we are using plasma technology. That means these materials are burned at 3000 degrees centigrade. So no fume, no gas, and that energy again will be used for generating electricity, the heat generated from there. So you find that in every aspect we have tried to optimize the use of energy to the extent possible. We are also using a lot of solar energy, because this is Gujarat, particularly Gandhinagar area, has got a lot of sunshine, and we'll be using a lot of solar energy. We are also going to use the wind energy for pumping water from master balancing reservoir to the treatment plant reservoir, because these are not time bound. So all the type of source of energy which can be used are being used here. Coming to the water supply, there also we have been very careful that there is no net discharge of water. All the water which is taken as input either treated and used for domestic purposes, and all the water which are collected as waste water are treated and used for either plantation or for the cooling tower of district cooling. So there is optimal utilization of water. Only topping of water is required. During rainy season, we are also collecting this water in two large channels which are created on the north and south, which will be used for plantation for making the city green. We are not using the underground water. Only that will be available in case of emergency, that there is a total failure of water supply. Because when we develop the city, we have to see that how this can be sustained even in case of emergency and in case of disaster. So that aspect has been taken care. That we are creating a balancing reservoir which can have a storage of water to supply to the city for 15 days. If there is disruption in water main, bringing from Narmada Canal to this, then we can sustain the water supply in the city for 15 days. Same thing with the electricity, that we are generating 20% electricity as a captive plant to supply for the emergency supply, to lifts, to fire services, and to the servers of the various buildings. So that in case of grid failure, they are not deprived of the essential services in the building. So you see that all these aspects have been taken care at the planning and design stage. Another thing which we see in the city, we always face a problem, is the accessibility to the green area. We create a lot of green area, but is it accessible? If we are again providing a compound wall to the building, then people cannot walk down to that green area. Here we developed a concept that we give only the footprint of the building. We also provide the height, this is the height at which place you do, and the total built up area. And the rest of the area which you see in the plan are available as a public space to be developed and maintained by a gift company. So this city will have a lot of green area for people to relax. After, if they come out of the building, they can go to green area, they can relax next door, which will be nicely landscape, fountains, sitting out places with some small eateries. Another aspect which we have considered is the vehicular, the segregation of vehicles and pedestrians. When you consider 10 lakh people working in this area, that means every day 20 lakh trips will be generated. For comparison, I can tell you that whole of South Bombay has got about 3.5 lakh jobs, direct jobs. And this will have 5 lakh direct job, 5 lakh indirect job. So you can imagine the volume of pedestrian which will be going. And if you don't segregate at the planning stage, then it becomes difficult. Both will be affected. Pedestrian will be affected and vehicular traffic will be affected. So while we are providing 4 metro stations to serve this city, from metro station we will be connecting all buildings by elevated walkway, which will be air conditioned, so that total segregation, the people can walk to the building without crossing any road. These aspects have been taken care in the planning and design, and we are executing like that. And within the city we will have electric buses operating in that area, so that people don't have to depend upon their own mode of transport. When they come from outside, they will park in the multi-level car parking, and internal movement will be by electric buses. So we'll be able to control the pollution emission within the city. Another aspect we have taken the security and surveillance. There are 6 gates in the city, and each gate will be managed electronically. Those who are regular working or resident, they will be having a different type of ID card, smart card. And those who are visitors, they will also be given RFI card. And their movement will be monitored, so that though no untoward incidents take place, without pervading into their privacy. So this security and surveillance, and all over there will be electronic surveillance available. So people will feel very safe. Going out will not be hazardous, because this city has to work 24 hours. It is serving from Tokyo to New York. Another aspect which is the first time we have done in the world is the innovative evacuation system in the unlikely event of a fire in any building. See, such incidents take place in spite of various precautions. Though we have very good firefighting system, sprinkler system, smoke detector, we have a fire hydrant, but sometimes fire do take place. And now at that time, the evacuation of the people become very important. In a high-rise building, coming from 50 floors, if you have to walk through the staircase, it's a very difficult task. So we are connecting by collapsible bridge the two adjoining high-rise buildings, so that people can cross from the affected building to the safe building. And these are provided at different levels, first at 8th floor level and then every 4 floor levels. So even the firefighters firemen can go access to that and provide relief to this. This, as I told you, we have done for the first time. We have designed ourselves, and this has become very popular, appreciated all over the world. Another aspect is each building is an intelligent building called IBMS, Intelligent Building Management System, which has got its own auxiliary control system, which monitors every aspect of the building. And that is, all these are connected to central command and control. So we work on the philosophy that any defects in any aspect is noticed by us, by the gift management, before the consumer notices it. And we have provided a system in such a manner that we can repair it before we receive a complaint. This is very important aspect, that when you develop a city of this nature, you provide lot of redundancy. Like each building will have 2 water pipelines, minimum 2 cables, minimum 2 ICT cable or 2 more, 2 district cooling pipelines, so that in case there is a problem with one line, from central command control, I can close this valve and set another valve to connect to another pipeline. So your service is restored before we receive complaint. Now these aspects have been taken care in the building. So we have tried to cover in the planning stage itself, the various aspects of the operation of the city, keeping in view that how the city will be operated. And this is what he called a smart city. A smart city is nothing but the smart way of planning, designing, execution and operation of the city, using technology as a base for the city. Thank you.